Hi, this is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm in San Francisco at the eMetrics Web Marketing Optimization Summit with Brian Eisenberg of Future Now. Brian's an expert on optimizing a website so that it really works and produces some profits.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of my viewers are small to medium businesses that don't have a great deal of traffic, which makes it hard to test every little thing.
Yep.
So what are the things that can be tested with small traffic, and how do you go about it?
Well, I think the first thing, let's define what small traffic is in terms of just trying to understand, at what level you can and can't do a test. So, as a rough basis, if you're not getting, 5 orders a week or so, it's going to take a really long time to test, right? That's 5 to 10. It's really a minimum threshold. So figure 1 or 2 orders a day,
okay,
at least, and it'll take you a few weeks to get a test done. If you don't have at least 10 orders a week or so, preferably even a magnitude of 5 orders a day would be better, right? And obviously, the more the better, because what you're looking for whenever you're testing, especially with something like Google Website Optimizer, is a certain number of completed actions, successful and unsuccessful, so that it can call a test valid. Mm-hmm. The other key is you also don't want to test too many variations. So when you have low traffic, you almost want to stick more to A/B testing or multivariate testing, where you have, let's say, a headline and image and maybe a button and 2 or 3 combinations of each, and that's it. Because what Google does is they test every single combination that you put up there. So if you have 3 things and you do 2 for each thing, so it's 2 times 2 times 2 combinations, mm-hmm. and so it has to show versions of each one and collect all that, and so it takes some time. So you want to kind of limit the number of variations you choose, and then most importantly, you want to pick something that has a lot of impact, right? Because I did this as an example yesterday. If I give you a red delicious apple and a green delicious apple, and I peel them, which one do you prefer?
Red.
Okay, if you knew which one it was, right? But it's, at least you came up with a quick answer. Most people have a little bit of a hard time because there's really not that much of a difference between a red delicious and a green.
Look for the remnants of the peel on the skin.
Well, that would be finding a little trick. So I'm pretty good at it. But if I ask you to choose between apple and, let's say, Belgian truffles, it becomes a little bit easier. Why? Because we're dealing with a much stronger motivational pull, mm-hmm. right? Some people really want to be healthy, and other people really want to get into that chocolate, right? Yeah. So again, the stronger the impact of what you're testing, the more likelihood that you're going to see an impact in a small test. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for those things that have very high impact, few variations, and just at least a minimum number of actions a week. If you can't do sales, then maybe you want to do how many people add something to a cart, because maybe you have more people adding to a cart.
Okay.
And that's fine too, and then hopefully that will funnel down to more sales.
Mm-hmm. Now you were mentioning that Google Website Optimizer does a full factorial, that is testing all of the different combinations. Mm-hmm. How much more accurate is that than Taguchi, in your opinion?
So Taguchi is a method that was developed really for production, stuff like that, and some people have brought it to website optimization. John Cordo von Tivadar, who's the co-author of the book I'm writing right now called Always Be Testing, the Complete Guide to Google Website Optimizer, he likes to say Taguchi my coochie. Okay, he's not a big fan of it, and the reason is, again, it's, for the right thing it works, and for the wrong thing it doesn't. Right, it's part of the modeling. I said the nice thing about the web is, first of all, it makes some assumptions about what are the variables that really have an impact. If more people knew what variables were that had an impact, we'd be seeing higher conversion rates than the standard conversion rate. Right. So it's assuming that you can remove things, right, and have an understanding. It's also assuming that you understand the interactions between A and a B. And you're not. So, and go with the full factorial to show all the combinations, because it's also easier to do a lot of analysis on it. So it's really important to focus on there.
If you don't get much difference between A and B, mm-hmm. Let's say it's your headline, but right. A doesn't really outshine B much at all, it takes a long time to get statistical
Correct.
Accuracy. So what would you do in a case like that where you're just not seeing much difference?
So I like to tell people, figure on a test running at a maximum of about 6 weeks, okay? And if you're not seeing much of a difference, either positive or negative, you haven't really hit on something that's a major motivational driver. If you think it's important still, let's say like your main headline, take that experiment, stop it, redesign it, come up with different versions of it, but put it into your list of tests. Let's say you have 5 more tests that you're planning. Put it as number 6. Do the other ones and then come back to it, because maybe you'll learn something from some of the other tests and get to it. Again, what you're looking for is either strong positives or strong negatives. It means you obviously it's a factor that's influencing people. Yeah. I like to talk about a hierarchy of optimization.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go through the whole hierarchy because we don't have all the time. But at the top of it is the things that are most persuasive in terms of the customer, in terms of buying. So things like better product images, better product descriptions, better copy, adding video. But all these things take a lot more resources. But they're very powerful if you do them well. But at the next level is what I call the intuitive level, and that's the confidence building things. That's the stuff that, as your prospect or your visitor is going through the buying process, through your website, you're making sure that all their questions are answered at all the right time. And I use this as a perfect example. Have you ever bought clothes online? Have you ever bought clothes online?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah. And the big concern when people buy clothes online is it going to fit? If it doesn't fit, what do I do with it? And so it's not like you go ahead and you go to a website and you go and you start digging around and say, oh, that's where the return policy is. And then let me look for clothes. What you do is you go look for clothes, see if something fits you or that you really like. You add it to your cart, and then you start getting the checkout process. And so what I tell people is, at the checkout process, that's where you need to remind people what your return policy is. Mm-hmm. We call those, and we talk about it in the original book, Call to Action, point of action assurances, the things that make people feel confident. If you're looking to get people to download a white paper or software or even become a lead, fill out a form, give them the benefits of why they need to do it right there near the form, and also tell them, hey, you know what, your privacy is guaranteed if let's say it's subscribing. With words like we value your privacy. If it's a lead, let them know how long you're going to contact them, or if you're not going to contact them, or what they should expect. Give them that information right when they're ready to take the action.
Build trust.
To build the confidence so they can take the next step. And they're not thinking about it as, well, should I do this or should I not do it, right? Check out, remind them of the security and stuff like that. That's why things like HackerSafe logo have been successful, because they kind of remind people of that at that point of action.
Well, thanks so much for sharing with us. Tell me about you and your company, and you have a new book coming?
We have a new book coming. So I started Future Now Inc. 10 years ago, 98, to focus exclusively on conversion. And I know you've been around since then, and people weren't talking about conversion much in 98. They were worried about traffic. And we've been spending the last 10 years developing content and services and trainings for people from small businesses to large, big enterprises to help them with that. I've also written 3 books, and the 4th one coming. I've written a book about persuasive online copywriting, another one called Call to Action, Secret Formulas to Improve Online Results, and Waiting for Your Cat to Bark. And the next book that's coming out, hopefully in August, end of August, is called Always Be Testing, the complete guide to Google Website Optimizer. We'll find out if people are optimized.
Well, Brian, thanks so much for sharing with us today.
You're very welcome.
This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.